So on July 17th, I got 4 years of continuous sobriety from alcohol. A lot of you know I started out in 2013, or really 2008. Didn't really grasp the whole sobriety thing until 2013. Had a few relapses in there, and from this point forward, I've had 4 years of continuous sobriety. And I was a little bit hesitant about posting this or even sharing this at all, but it seems like whenever I do something like this, and I'm pretty vocal about this part of my life at least, I get a DM or a text from someone random who just says, I've helped them in some way, or they're proud of me. And I don't think I'm unique in a lot of ways, certainly not in a person who faces adversity. I think we all do that. I just tend to be more vocal about it as part of who I am. But one thing I do want to say is this past year has probably been the most difficult emotionally, mentally, that I faced, sober or not sober. Was filled with extreme highs of, love, and extreme lows of losing that. There was a solid 6 months where I was in a pretty bad depressive state where I had trouble getting out of bed and doing normal things. I got them done most days, but there were some days where just getting through the day was a win for me. And I don't share a lot of that stuff as I'm going through it. I don't really believe in posting things like that. I have a small group of close friends and family who I confide in and talk to on a regular basis. And you know who you are and help me through all of this. And you've heard my story probably more than you'd like to at this point. But the main point I wanted to come out here is because as a 45-year-old man and a father, I think the biggest misconception that somebody could have is to feel ashamed or embarrassed to say they have a problem. And my problems with alcohol, we all have problems of different degrees and different varieties. But I think it's just so silly that there still may or may not be some kind of professional or social pressure to drink when we know it's not good for us. I think the biggest thing somebody can really do is accept when they're wrong and accept when they have an issue and then deal with that issue, whatever it may be. It's not embarrassing to me. And some people go on and they say, I don't like labels. I don't want to be called an alcoholic. I don't really care. Everybody knows I'm an alcoholic, or I'm an alcoholic in recovery and don't drink. My kids, all of their sports teams and the parents, they all know that. My boss knows that. The CEO of my company and the presidents, they all know that. And they've all supported me through this, which is very unique and why I love, who I work for. But to me, it's a diagnosis. It's just like anything else. Once you have a proper diagnosis, then you can properly treat something. Whether or not you believe in AA doesn't really matter to me. That's what worked for me. Whatever works for you, more power to you. But just to let go of that whole not asking for help when you need help. And I ask for help, trust me, plenty of times. I just don't do that, as much publicly. Like I said, I have my private group and friends that I go to. But it's not embarrassing to me to say I'm an alcoholic. What's embarrassing is being that person that everybody knows drinks too much and doesn't have a handle on it and not remembering what you did the night before. What's embarrassing is going to a national sales meeting or a conference and having your boss have a private conversation with you, or getting called into HR. Those kind of things, are embarrassing. The doctors that I work with, there's a very prominent thoracic surgeon that I work with, and he read my book, and I got earned more respect from him and my physicians. And I'll sit there in the OR and I'll say, I don't drink. And I won't get into it. I said, I used to drink, I had an issue with it. And so I stopped. And nobody blinks an eye. If anything, somebody comes to me on the side and tells me their story or how long they've been sober, or someone, they know who's struggling with it and they kind of ask for help. So, all of my friends drink. Everyone that I've dated, has drank. I don't have an issue with it. I still go and I do things. Not that that's, recommended or not recommended. It's just, I've been in this thing for a long time now, so I know what I can and can't do, or what I should and shouldn't do. But I think just to alleviate and remove that whole pressure that we have to drink for any given reason, because as an adult, nobody cares. And, there's no adult sitting there saying, drink, drink, drink. And if they are, they're not really, an adult. They need to grow up themselves. So I'm not ashamed to say I'm an alcoholic. I hope you shouldn't be ashamed. Doesn't mean you have to be public like I am. You can do it however you want to do it. But just understand that if people want to get help, there is help out there. And there are tons of people willing to help when you are ready. I'm very giving with my time and resources for those people who are making an effort, but I won't if they're not. I'll wait till they're kind of ready to receive that. So, and there's a lot of things that I don't, share, that I just kind of keep to myself. But, thank you to all those who have helped me along this whole year. I'm very blessed. I'm very grateful. And thank you to my kids, mainly for being the light, in the darkness sometimes. I can always turn to them, and that's what keeps me going a lot of days. So if you're out there struggling, you're not struggling alone. You can do it. If you need some help, message me. Take care.